All right, so we've kind of touched on this as well. Takeout packaging that works. So this will be a little bit of a more deeper dive, gentlemen, into the different types of takeout packaging, just so operators are aware. And I know that has been a hot button topic for the last couple of years in the industry as we begin to transition away from foam into greener products, but also more functional products. We're seeing more sizes available that make things like sauces and sides easier to get to customers without your food all spilling over each other and turning into this homogeneous pile of stuff.
Yeah, so you know, foam containers have been banned all over the place, and from an environmental standpoint, but from a practical standpoint, now, there is a cost benefit to buying a foam container, and not saying a foam container isn't the right product for whatever you're trying to sell. So I really think that the main point in this is that you really need to evaluate what you're selling and then use the best container for that job. There's no universal container that I could tell you that this one's the works the best, because it really depends on what you're trying to sell. And like I said, so foam containers might be the right choice. The one thing that you have to consider, though, is your food will definitely be traveling. And if you look at, for example, Chinese restaurants and what they do, because they do 95% of their business carry out, take a look at how they package things. They're using paper bags. They're using polypropylene heavy-duty containers. They're using some really good packaging, and they have some really good ideas because they know their food travels. And for what you're trying to do, that might be the best option, or it might not be. There's been containers that have come out that offer, it's almost like you're eating a meal when you take the lid off and you tear it off. The lid has a perforation and it will tear off, and you're able to almost eat that as what you are, as a plate and as a meal. So you have containers like that. I would just say that the best thing that you can do is consult with your DSR. They have the options, and really work with them and talk through the different things. And they have some expertise that they'll be able to help you to find the right containers. And then finally, the most important thing is to make sure you test those containers so that what you're trying to serve is going to come out right.
What do you think, Tim?
I fully agree with all those points. Are all great points. He's the expert in the takeout container industry. I would say that diversity in your packaging could be very important as well. How do you want to present it? Is it something that you feel that it's kind of like one of those really big meals where they might want to microwave it the next day? So you might want to take stuff like that into consideration. If they do have leftovers, is that packaging able to be put in the microwave for a minute and a half to reheat it? Might also want to give suggestions on reheating your items if you are the type of establishment that has, like the full meal deal, like the giant piece of lasagna. I would recommend, putting it in the microwave, putting a splash of water on it, and putting it in the microwave for a minute and a half. But anyways, to the packaging, I think it's important to have diversity in your packaging. If it fits your platform, being as if you do think it would be a situation where they're not just going to eat it all when they get home, there might be a situation where they might have leftovers to reheat the next day.
Or even put in the freezer. So if you're selling a lasagna and you put it in a container and you think that that's going to go home and go in the freezer, then you want to make sure that container will hold up in the freezer. So it's considerations like that. I can't really give you a solid recommendation on anything right now because it all really depends on what you're trying to do. But like I said, that's where your DSR becomes a really valuable resource.
I would add to that, to state the obvious. Okay, when I talk to our customers about social media, the most beneficial thing they can share with their customers is the stuff that they do every day. Nobody does what an operation does like they do. And when you are sending out your takeout packaging, to Tim's point, provide instructions if there are reheat instructions. If certain ingredients go together, if you're reassembling a dish and you've sent the individual things, that's great. If the takeout packaging works, if you can wash it, if it's dishwasher safe, microwavable, ovenable, let the customer know. Include a little note in there. Hey, you can save your leftovers in these containers. They make great storage containers. Those little tidbits, while they might seem obvious, because you said them to the customer, because you put that in a note that went into the packaging, that you've now given that customer a gift. You've now given them some knowledge, and you've made them feel like, wow, they really care about me. I'm glad I ordered from this company. And it seems like it's such a small thing, but I promise you it goes such a long way to just be open and honest. And sometimes stating the obvious has a good effect.